We are live, and welcome to tonight's NASCAR '07 coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Custom Schedule Season Finale at the Daytona International Speedway. 100 laps under the lights for this race. Can we win a championship? We come in just 44 points behind Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart clinches the title tonight with a 7th place finish or better, assuming that none of us lead any laps. Very unlikely that that would happen. I would imagine we'll both end up leading some sort of laps in this race if I had to guess, considering we both start up towards the front of the field. But we'll see how this is going to go. You just never know what could happen. Be able to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. If you're just tuning in, subscribe for more NASCAR content, live NASCAR commentary streams on the NASCAR race weekends. And during the week, we have action like this right here on the channel. We've been covering this Busch Series season for a long time on the channel. It took a bit of a hiatus from the middle of the winter up until a couple months ago. We re-picked this season back up again, and it's been a ride over the last really about 10, 11 months since we started the season. And here we are, 30th and final race of the year, and Daytona International Speedway. It's been a heck of a ride the last couple of weeks at the end of this season. It all started 7 races ago when I had 3 straight DNFs. Couldn't get out of my own way. Come after the 3 straight DNFs to 5 consecutive wins. So 3 DNFs to 5 consecutive wins. We went from 44 points out of first to 388 points out of first, right back to 44 out of first into the season finale. Tony Stewart, in the last 2 races, has finished 40th after he had blown an engine on the last lap at Richmond 2 races ago and blown an engine in the last 90 laps at Phoenix yesterday in the second half of the race there. He did lead laps yesterday, so he did get 5 bonus points, but that definitely kept us in contention, to say the least, on top of the 5 straight wins. I had to go out, win out, and hope for the best, and, well, we won out, and so far, we have gotten about as good as we could have gotten. Now, the 3 races before the DNFs from Tony Stewart, he finished 4th, 3rd, and 2nd in the first 3 wins of this 5-race win streak. So that's definitely kept him in the points lead. We'll see who's going to close it out. I did the best I could setup-wise. I qualified 2nd. Tony Stewart will be starting 3rd in this race. Pre-qualifying adjustment from what I had at Daytona from the first 2 races. I took a half a round of wedge out to hopefully help the turn when I'm in dirty air, which hopefully means I could stay on throttle longer in the middle of the corner, which it seems like my car tends to get tight on the super speedways a lot, especially on older tires, so I'm really hoping that that's going to help. I also bumped the air pressure up, so I might be a little too loose out of the gate. May have to adjust that when we get to the first pit stop, but we'll have to wait and see how the long run will play out, because I don't know what it'll look like on this setup. Here we go. Judo the Goober, Wade Zielinski, Patrick Chatterley, Derek Booth, many others. Welcome to the stream. Starting 2nd, green flag in the air, and we are racing under the lights at the Daytona International Speedway. And already, Jimmy Johnson out of the gate, going to get to the lead. A great launch through the restart zone. And he's out ahead early. Going to have to try to lead as many laps as we can. And at the very least, try to hold this 33 of Tony Stewart back as much as we can here tonight. A lot of lane changing back straightaway on this opening lap. Field trying to get up to speed into turns 3 and 4. And at the end of the first lap, it'll be the pole sitter getting back to the outside of Jimmy Johnson, and that would be Mark Martin in the 6. Johnson getting freight trained just a little bit here. Tony Stewart trapped in line behind Johnson. So Stewart to 5th on lap 1 after starting 3rd. Johnson back 2 positions, but he's got his teammates at Hendrick Motorsports right in front of him, of Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers. Stewart to the inside now. Don't hit me, please. I didn't even think about that. All right, well, he didn't hit me. Stewart clears Johnson. Johnson looking to get back underneath him on the back straightaway. Makes the clean pass into turn 3. So Martin leads the opening lap. Dang, I just can't stay in the draft at Daytona on this game. I don't know what it is. It's hard. It ain't easy. We did not lead a lap That very first lap of the race, I was close, but didn't quite lead any. And again, Busch running that outside lane. I don't like him up there. As much as I don't want to work with Tony Stewart in the beginning of this race, I might have to. Oh boy, that's not what I wanted to do. Tried to hop in line behind him. I made contact, and that stalled me out even more. I'm not liking this start. Somebody's got to get around me and lead the way. I mean, I cannot keep up with these guys in the trap. The adjustments made my car quicker in qualifying. You would think qualifying second would give me enough single car speed to stay with these guys, but I just can't do it. My gosh. This is frustrating. I mean, I know we're only 4 laps into this race, but I can't hang with anybody. It's going backwards. Good news is it's Mark Martin leading. It's not Tony Stewart. Again, the bad news is Tony Stewart is in 4th. Oh boy, that contact's going to slow us up too. Wow, 2.5 seconds back after contact with J.J. Yaley off turn 4. Contact with Paul Menard there. Got one car slow at the very tail end of the field, so somebody's out of the race with an engine failure already. Johnson is definitely fading. We're going to take our first field swap already. And we will swap ahead to Kyle Busch in the 5 because he is ahead of Tony Stewart. We're going to have to play some trickery in this one. Busch going to try to hold Stewart up. I want Johnson to catch up with this pack. Everybody go around me. Go around me. I know it seems scummy, but we're doing whatever we can to win this thing here today. Johnson's well caught up with the field. Mark Martin has probably got the biggest lead in green flag racing in Daytona International Speedway Busch Series history. All right. Train Skay, Iceman, thanks for tuning in. It's all about positions that we finish relative to Tony Stewart. Stewart's outside 3 wide as he's losing positions in the pack. And there goes Jimmy Johnson. Johnson up to 4th, and he's working himself forward. Go, Jimmy, go. And he's going for 3rd. Busch continues to block Tony Stewart. We will swap to Brian Vickers in the 57, who is up in 2nd place. Vickers still winless on this season. Still makes Stewart angry, exactly. I'm sure he's angry, but with not making contact with him. You know, at least there's that. Got another car blowing up. 2 engine failures in the first 10 laps. I didn't get a chance to see who that car was that already pulled to pit road. Martin's got a 7-second lead over Vickers, and Vickers is quite a ways ahead of this lead pack back from 3rd on back. We'll get to see who this car is on the back straightaway. That is slow. I hope it's Tony Stewart. There's no way he DNFs 3 races in a row to end the season. He has DNF'd 3 times all year. Crocker out. She'll end up finishing 42nd if she does not return to the track and get any help from DNFs relative to her finishing position. We'll swap back to Jimmy Johnson. Lap 10. Johnson remains in 3rd. And I don't see Tony Stewart out of the rear view. He has lost a ton of positions. We're going to let Sadler go. I'm going to really try my best to stay in line behind him. I need help, and I'm just not getting it. Got Kyle Busch right behind us. Come on, Kyle. Might have to go with the 5 car. Sadler goes to the outside. It doesn't help that the cars in front of us continue to go to the outside lane. I just don't run well up there. Busch drafting up behind Sadler. Big run for Johnson, headed off into turn 1. He'll get back by Busch up to 4th. And sits in line right behind the 90 of Elliott Sadler. So here we go. Now we're able to stay with Elliott. Hopefully he stays on the bottom of the racetrack. We'll bump draft him. We can catch Brian Vickers. Vickers is only like a second or 2 ahead of us. We ain't catching Mark Martin for a minute. And hopefully Sadler and Johnson can draft away from the pack here. I'm liking the start of this thing. I wasn't liking it those first handful of laps, but we settled in finally. Fastest lap of the day that last time for Johnson. Aggressively bump drafting through the tri-oval. Going for everything here in the early going. And again, Sadler goes to that outside lane. Not where I want him to go, but Jimmy staying with him. Kyle Busch is an yeah. Famous Brad Keselowski quote. Sadler and Johnson definitely making up ground on the 57 of Brian Vickers. If I could work with a teammate, that'd be great. We have one more field pass to get through the rest of the night. I'm drafting deep into that first turn. We got to make sure that when Sadler catches Vickers, he doesn't draft away from us. That's where I really tend to lose the draft a lot in this situation on super speedways. And I haven't even finished in the top 30 the first 2 races at Daytona on this season. So this is not going to be an easy task just because I qualified up front. Now, it is the best qualifying position I had at Daytona in the 3 races now this season. So there's that going for me. 10.9 seconds off the lead. I don't know how far off the lead we were initial started this drafting slash pushing effect here with Sadler. Johnson trying to stay with the 90. Back straightaway. Sadler gets a run underneath Vickers. Johnson's just going to stay with the 90 at this point. Stay on the bottom. Stay low and go. Johnson to 3rd. Sadler to 2nd. Bump drafting their way past. That's another 5 points per position in the top 5 positions on the racetrack. And Tony Stewart was slipping towards the back half of the top 10, if not just outside the top 10 in the opening laps. Yeah, still 10 seconds off the lead, so although we gained a lot of time getting to Brian Vickers there, still quite a ways behind Mark Martin and not really closing on him. Just goes to show how much speed that pole sitter Mark Martin has. He did qualify on the pole for a reason. Big time bump draft here for Jimmy. Already 15 laps in. I did not mean to try to pull out a line and make the pass there. Well, contact, but pass was made. We weren't gaining on Martin anyway, so it wasn't a terrible thing to happen, I guess. Up to second again, right where we started. First time since the opening lap. I mean, second place would be a good spot if we were to get a caution. One spot closer to the front, chance to try to leapfrog on a restart. Something of that nature. Another car blowing up on the bottom of the racetrack. Looked like maybe a fantasy driver of some sort, but I couldn't tell exactly who it was. Johnson at least doing a good job staying in front of Brian Vickers and Elliott Sadler. Elliott's making a bunch of moves, though, corner after corner. I'll say that much. Won't worry about covering the bottom there. Still clear up high. It's nice to know we at least have teammates around us. Got a bit loose getting off turn 4. Stayed in the gas, but enough momentum was killed there. Both Brian Vickers, Kyle Busch get by Jimmy Johnson for now. Johnson driving in this middle lane underneath Busch. 3 wide middle, Sadler up there. A lot of contact. Got ping-ponged around there quite a bit. We're still in it. Three wide and tight off turn 2. Halfway through the fuel run. 2-stop race here tonight. Kind of figured that. Flag for blocking. What is this, go-kart racing? The Formula 1? Tony Stewart's back there. I think. Looks like him. We're going to get Kyle Busch to block the cars up ahead of us at the very least here. He remains in second. I see Tony Stewart coming. Definitely more focused on trying to stay in front of him than Kenny Wallace. Stewart was fading there for a minute, but there we go. Come on. Now we draft away from Stewart. Hold him back in 8th. I mean, that's where he has to be right now. 7th or better, he wins the championship. So just got to find a way to get up. It's going to be tough to get to Martin. We're better off finishing 2nd and hoping Stewart finishes like 9th or 10th at this point. Not that I think we're going to stay green all the way through this race. I'd be shocked if that happened. Big bump drafting. Kenny Wallace in the 22. Just like Sadler earlier, though, he's just running that outside lane of the racetrack. Get Stewart. I can't do anything about that. I'm not going to risk trying to intentionally wreck him because that usually backfires for me. Because if he doesn't DNF and I wreck him, then he's going to try to wreck me every single time we're around each other. And we're probably going to be around each other most of this race. Busch probably has a lot of speed in that 2nd place position, though. All the way up against that wall. Got to have a good handling car. See, if my car was as tight as it was the first couple times it came to Daytona, no chance I would have been able to keep it off the wall there without lifting. Johnson going to try to make the swing. Going to get by Kenny Wallace. Slides in front of him. That's another spot. And now trying to draft with the 57 car, Brian Vickers. We'll try to catch this 3-car draft up ahead of us. "14 seconds off the race leader. Definitely got to be careful with the bump drafts of these Gen 4 cars, too. So easy to get a car out of shape, especially on this older, bumpier Daytona surface. Just in the car. I don't think so. I really do like the handling. I think this is going to be as good as it's going to get. The only thing I'm scared about is taking the 2-tire strategy and the car being too loose. So maybe I'm going to make an adjustment to try to tighten it up a bit just for when I take right sides only if we have to pit under green. Good chance it's going to happen. Definitely in that window to make it on 2 stops from here. And a lot of bump drafting going on here between Jimmy Johnson and Brian Vickers. Kenny Wallace continues to stay out ahead of Tony Stewart. We just got to execute when the 57 catches the back of the cars up in front of us. And we're able to make this pass without losing the draft. Once and again, bump drafting Brian Vickers. Oh, didn't need that. Oh, please don't lose him. Please don't lose him. That was close. First time I've hit the wall today. That's the dangers of him running the outside. We were extremely close to losing these guys. And we've really started to gap Tony Stewart and Kenny Wallace by quite a bit, too. That would have been a bad spot to lose the draft. And we're still quite a ways out from green flag pit stops in the sense of we're not going to be pitting within the next few laps. We're going to get close to lap 40. Probably end up hitting around lap 37, 38 if I had to guess. I'd like to try to stay out a little bit longer if possible, so there's a chance I can get 5 bonus points. Because we have not led yet. Mark Martin's led all 26 laps from the pole so far. There we go. Vickers down to the bottom of the racetrack. Back straightaway. If he stays there, I think we'll be in a really good spot. Johnson pushing the 57 car into the backstretch, into turn 3. Pulling the bottom of the track that time, and the 57 definitely close enough to draft off those cars in front of him. We got a big pull off turn 4 on Sadler. Side by side for third. That can slow those cars down a little bit as well. Bottom of the racetrack, Johnson making moves. He'll get by Vickers. He's going to get by Kenseth. And back to fourth. But how quickly the 90 and the 5 were able to stay up in front of these drivers. Momentum did get killed. Johnson making those passes. He's going to have to let Vickers by and then try to draft in line behind him. So off turn 4, going to let the 57 car go. We had a nice push from behind there from the 17, so I think that's going to help us stay with Brian Vickers, and we should pull the 17 car hopefully further behind us. Man, this car's freeing up. It's a lot harder for me to not keep this analog stick. Big block, man. Kyle Busch threw a hefty block on Sadler in the back straightaway. It looked like the 90 got to his outside. There's the big run we needed getting into 3. Yeah, this car does get pretty light, though, with this setup late in the run. That's what I was wondering, if it was going to do this. I haven't been able to bump draft the 57 car since getting in front of Kenseth. Can't get to him until the end of the straightaway. There we go. Little push off into turn 1 that time. Kind of sets the car a little better, too. Side by side, Sadler and Busch. This is allowing Vickers Johnson to catch up. On the backstretch. Big run coming for Johnson. He's going to try to swing out, make the pass on Brian Vickers. He does. Is he close enough to Elliott Sadler? Got to keep a steady wheel. It was close. Those two just staying as tightly nose to tail with each other, I think, is the reason I can't keep up with them. They're too fast nose to tail like this. Here we go again. I'm giving it all she's got, guys. I thought I was close enough, and I had such a big run, I really thought it was going to work. Sub to the channel after start of the series. I'll try to read that as quick as I can. Hopefully I can get to it by the pit stop. Oh, hang on to it. Hi, ay, ay. I got tight even trying to get around him after the contact. That's not what we needed right there. That was... I did the same thing with Sadler, like, in the first few laps of the race. Oh, no, it was J.J. Yaley, my bad. Like, lap 3 or 4, I was trying to get in line behind him, and I hooked him into the wall. That was a pretty hard hit for Kenseth. He stays in front of the 2 cars of Wallace and Stewart back there, but Johnson clearly losing the few cars ahead of him now. Martin still leads, 32 laps in. And we've got cars pitting this time. A couple of them. Stewart's in. So Tony Stewart's going to pit. Kyle Busch and Elliott Sadler are in. Johnson could go a little bit further yet. Going to let Kenseth go. Hope that I can get in line right behind him. There we go. I didn't hook him that time. That was one more executed than the last time. I just got to stay with him on the backstretch. Oh, it looks like Kenseth's pitting. We're losing our drafting partner. I don't think Kenny Wallace is going to pit this time, though. Surprised Mark Martin not saving gas is still out there. If a caution came out right now with Tony Stewart more than likely a lap down, that would be beautiful. Can we get a yellow right now? Please. I'm staying out until I can lead a lap. Get the 5 bonus points and then come in the next lap. I'm convinced Mark Martin's going to lead the most. Martin and whoever was in second there stayed out of the pits again. A lot of cars a lap down. Still caution-free in this race entirely as well. Trying to get a draft off the 126 coming out of the pits. We'll swing by him. No, I can make it a little bit longer. I can get to at least lap 37. Like right as I was getting into turn 3, it just went to flashing red. Second is pitting here. I really hope Kyle Busch is... so Vickers pits. Mark Martin did not. Well, he did pit. So Johnson's out in front. Jimmy Johnson leads. Can we get a caution right now, please? Can we get a caution right now? I mean, it would put us back in traffic of those that have already pitted. This car's getting a little loose. Got to go one more. Got to lead this lap. We'll pit next time by. This will be 5 bonus points. First lap led of the day for Johnson. Tony Stewart did not lead in this race yet. That's a big 5 bonus points. Oh boy, that was a big block. Trying to get a little extra draft off this 126. I was definitely able to save quite a bit of fuel coming out of the... or staying in the draft, I should say. For the majority of this run. We're going to go right sides only. Johnson will pit this time. Gonna try to get all we can. Can't speed. There we go. Good pit road entry there. Gonna put a half a round of wedge in it. We're gonna drop the air pressure. And we're gonna go right sides only. Really trying to tighten it up while taking the right sides, because these left sides are gonna have to go quite a ways. Oh, I mean, we executed that as good as I could have there. I stayed out. I was able to lead a lap, got 5 bonus points, came in, hopefully get the track position back by taking right sides only. I was losing a lot of time not being in the draft there. And we're going to be in second. So we did leapfrog him. Mark Martin obviously still leads. Tony Stewart did not lead a lap yet. And now we just got to get up to speed as quick as we can. And yes, this would technically be a blend line violation, but at this point in the race, I don't care. We gotta stay in front of these guys till we get up to speed at least. It's gonna be another half a lap or so. Try to block Busch and Sadler as much as we can. Ryan Vickers is coming. Hopefully I've tightened the car up enough. Taking right sides only. Tony Stewart's right there still. Come on, Busch. Stay in front of him. We're going to take our final field pass at the start-finish line this time by. We're going to swap to Kyle Busch. Maybe. We're going to have to go to Brian Vickers first. Got to go to Vickers first. We're going to have to drop this 57 car back. Let Jimmy Johnson go. Johnson and one other car, so he's got enough to draft with here. Try to hold Tony Stewart back. There you go. Well, Johnson's on his own now. We need Tony to lose some spots. There we go. Go, Kyle. Go, Kyle. Go. Everybody else go. Just come on. It's the final time I'm going to be able to do this today. We got a whole nother lap to limp around this thing. $15th. I'm doing what I can to win this championship. We're completing this comeback tonight. I really wish more cars would just get by. Tony's blocking them. Mark Martin's coming. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now he's stuck 3 wide top. Brian Vickers, you're the man. We got to block more. We got to block more. Oh, boy, don't wreck. I want to cause a caution here. Bunch the field back up again. We don't need the field bunched up. I think that's good enough. And now to Busch in the 5. Still caution free. I did what I could. The rest is going to be in Jimmy Johnson's hands. The rest is in Johnson's hands tonight. And just got to hope Tony Stewart doesn't... What was he, about 24th? Vickers was 22nd, I think, when I swapped away from him. Somebody in the chat let me know exactly where Vickers was running. I'm at least being fair in the sense I'm only doing 2 laps at a time still in the field pass. So... this next lap will be the last with Busch, and then we'll stay with Johnson the rest of the way. I had 2 opportunities to do that tonight. We've used them up in the first 40 laps, but I felt that knowing where Stewart was in comparison to us, that was going to be the time I wanted to use it. And I used it earlier to allow Johnson to at least catch up with the top couple cars in the field at the time, which allowed us to be able to leapfrog them during green flag stops, and we led a lap. Remember, Tony Stewart hasn't led. Oh, boy. Busch got loose. Getting up off turn 2. Good save. 27. So Busch is right around 30th then. He was a couple spots behind that. And I think Jimmy's in 3rd. We're not going to know where Stewart's going to be running the rest of this race. That's what's going to be very interesting the rest of the way. We're not going to know where Tony Stewart's at the rest of this race. Johnson in 3rd. I believe that would be Elliott Sadler, next car ahead of us in 2nd. 27th. Got one more pit stop. 45 laps to go. Best thing for us is this thing goes caution-free at this point because the field's so spread apart right now. Now, granted, Stewart's got quite a few positions, like within the first handful of cars in front of him. Somebody's slow in turns 3 and 4 right now. Yeah, no more silliness. We need a clean race. Exactly. Truex right behind us. Nobody for a while behind Johnson. If we're going to let Truex get around us and try to draft behind him, I think we have to at this point. I'm really hoping Mark Martin's got a chance to somehow lap Stewart. There were so many cars between him and Stewart that I don't think it's going to be possible, but at this point, we're not really in this to win the race. I don't want to let Truex go yet. The longer we sit behind him, less of a chance we'll be able to cycle into second again with the green flag stop, but we led our one lap in this race, probably two on pit road. We probably led 2 laps tonight. Led just over 600 coming in. Sorry, 1,600. Nah, no black flag. We're good. If Denny Hamlin can do it at Gateway without getting black flag, then we can do it here. All right. I do have older left side tires. Like that's the dangerous part of trying to let these guys through. It's a potential loss of more positions, more points. Don't hit the wall. Good Lord. Well, that's not what I wanted. I did not need to hit the wall there. It's going to be a long time for anybody else catches us. Dang it. Man, I just hope Tony Stewart doesn't pick up too many spots. The fact that he's got over half the race left and most of those positions were right in front of him, like, he could probably get back up into the top 15 just based on the cars around him. Which means I'm gonna probably have to finish top 5 still. Has to be the biggest comeback in Xfinity Series history, considering how far back Johnson was coming into this one. Can he pull it off? Is the question. We're halfway home, 50 down, 50 to go. Mark Martin has led all but, 2 laps, which was led by us during green flag pit stops. Probably going to burn a little bit more fuel this run, but I pitted after everybody else. I'm definitely going to pit with... Well, I don't think we should pit until Martin pits, because otherwise there'll be a lap down just in case we got a caution. That would be a heartbreaker if that happened. We got to stay out at least until the 6-car pits. Even with a 2-tire stop, we'd easily be a lap down. I think there's J.J. Yaley in the 18 car. It's closing in on the 48 at Johnson. I think I've noticed 4 cars with engine failures. Looks like there's 3 on pit road, but I think there's 4. Because I saw somebody on the apron through 3 and 4 during this green flag run as well. post-pit stops. I kind of want this group of cars to catch up where I try to draft behind somebody. If I can get somebody behind me, I think I can keep up in the draft long enough to stay with one car, but it's letting that single car go. Like right now, really hope Kenny Wallace clears me. He didn't clear me. Oh boy, this thing got snappy loose. Yeah, I lost a lot of momentum there. I don't know how I got so loose all of a sudden. Go, JJ. All right, we got a better chance of staying with Yaley. Well, we got Busch here, too. I'm not worried about these cars passing me if I can stay with them, because I can leapfrog them during pit stops and then block for my life the last like 20-something laps. I just want to stay with this group of cars the rest of this fuel run. If we can't, then it's where it becomes more and more of a problem. Closer we are to the front of this group of cars, the better. Without being the leader, of course. Underneath Yaley at a good point there. Kenny Wallace, lead car in this pack. Yaley gets back around Johnson, a little crossover move. And a double cross. This car's definitely on the loose side. It's been on the loose side since about lap 30. Same left side tires as we started the race with. So we'll have to go left sides only on the next stop. And then take the rights to the finish. Which would be a full next fuel run. So that'll be good. Don't hit the wall. I don't like that he's all the way up on the outside like that. There's my chance of staying with Kenny Wallace. He was running so close to the wall, and my car just isn't handling with the two tires. I can't run up there. Stayed with him in the draft a little bit. Ah! Dang it. It's just... It gets so loose. So hard. I'm really trying as best I can right now. I tried to tighten it up as much as I can. I should have tightened it up even more. I was just scared it was going to be too tight. I just didn't tighten it up enough. I'm scared to let these guys pass me now, because if I lose these two, there's one more car coming, but well, we're getting at that point where the more cars they let by me, that's more points I'm potentially losing. Oh, we almost got trouble off of turn 4. Dale Jr. and J.J. Yaley make contact, get up into the wall. That's going to slow them down a ton. That's not what we needed, because now we have no drafting partners for the foreseeable future. We're definitely going to lose these next two cars. They just passed us. Man, they fell way back. I mean, they're like over 5 seconds behind us. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if Junior went up to block Yaley, but they got together and they got up against the wall off turn 4. We do stay green. Still caution-free at Daytona tonight through 57 laps. A full fuel run. And considering we started to see pit stops at lap 33, and they cycled all the way through lap 38, I believe, is when I pitted. So we'll probably be seeing pit stops here at about 10-15 laps. It'll be the final stops of the day. fuel window going to open up for us in about 5-6 laps, but how far ahead Mark Martin, is compared to us. I mean, we can't short pit, or we'll go a lap down just in case we were to see a caution. Got to stay in the lead lap at all costs. So we're in 7th, and if you're wondering where Tony Stewart's running, last we knew of, he was around 30th place. That was also when we were in 3rd. We've obviously since lost positions. Stewart towards the tail end of the lead lap, or he's one of the first few cars a lap down, one or the other. Martin's actually cut through quite a bit of that lap traffic. Every car you see directly behind Martin on the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, those are all lap cars. The second place car would be right where that first big gap is behind all the lap cars. That would be where Elliott Sadler in second place would be. And Brian Vickers, I believe, is in 3rd. The other car that would be up there with him. Or no, not Vickers. Shoot, who is it? Who were the first couple cars that got around us? Would it be Kenny Wallace? Yeah, I think it would be Kenny Wallace. Matt Kenseth. I think those were the first two. So that's where they're running. Yaley finally catching Johnson after contact between him and Earnhardt. 4 more cars closing in just behind the 48 here. Well, we still got a long 41 laps to go. Hoping for the best here. Looked like Yaley got loose on his own off turn 4. Lost a little momentum on the outside again. It's the biggest pack of cars we've seen. For once, looks like there's 6 of them total. Oh my gosh. I had to lift there. Once I hit the apron, I thought I was going around. Oh no, don't do that to me. You son of a gun. Come on, guy. Now we're back to 11th. He tagged me in the left rear. I got loose on my own getting into the corner, and he finished me off on the exit. I didn't move my line at all. I don't think so. Definitely had contact. I didn't think I really blocked him. Forsett looked like he threw more of a block on the back straightaway on the car behind him than what I did. I think it's just getting a car underneath my rear spoilers making me really loose at this point in the run. I don't like that I'm losing spots. My heart's starting to race and we still got 39 laps left. Oh my gosh. What a challenge. Please stay with him, please. I can't. I can't do it. If I didn't take 2 tires, we would have been like, what, 6th or 7th? Especially as long as I stayed out to get the lap sled. I had to lift there just to keep it from coming out from underneath me. It's like if I would have taken 4 tires, I would have been right around where I'm running now anyway. So it's like it was a lose-lose situation staying out to get the bonus points. Honestly, if I didn't get tagged in the left rear, I'd probably still be running around 7th or 8th place. So, I mean, it wouldn't be all that bad. There's no major damage on the car. Luckily, I've only scraped the wall that one time. Twice now. But very minimal scrape, so. I got to stop letting cars by me now at this point. So I just don't think I could stay with them. And we need all the points we can get. I've got to block every last car that tries to pass me the rest of this race. And just hope that Tony Stewart doesn't pick up enough spots. Being back at 12th, I mean, I would... Oh, my gosh. Please hang with him. I don't think I can. I don't have enough speed. Got Boyer right behind me. If he could give me a push, stay in line behind me. Fell a little too far behind him. I can't stay high and in the draft. I got to stay low and block. Man, pit stops can't come soon enough, let me tell you. At this point, I might be hoping for a caution. Caution so I can put 4 tires back on this thing and actually stay in the draft behind somebody. Not that it was 100% successful before, but better than what it is now. I mean, they're just so much quicker than me. Even if I could stay in the draft. Oh, come on, here we go. Stay with Danny O'Quinn Jr., please. Well, I stayed with him for 1 corner. It's hard to stay with him right off the exit. Right off the exit of the corner is where I get the most loose on my own. You have to bump draft him. All right, well, we're staying with Danny O'Quinn Jr. He might have saved my race. And we got the top 5 pitting, some of them. I would imagine Tony Stewart's a lap down. Martin has passed like every single one of those lap cars. And I think our best friend here, Danny O'Quinn Jr. Oh, no, he's not pitting. Oh, yeah, I tagged him in a bad spot. I don't know why he didn't just stay on the bottom. Really wish he would have stayed on the bottom. I think I got to pit this time by and just hope we don't get a caution. I got to get these left sides off. Our window's well open. We can make it easily 33 laps. I'm just going to go a lap down, hope we don't get a yellow, and with a 2-tire stop, I should be able to get back in front of the 2 cars that just passed me, and at least I know I have some speed to stay with Danny O'Quinn Jr. At the very least. We're going to short pit this time by. Left sides only. Try to get as much as we can coming into the pits. Don't speed. 70-mile-per-hour speed limit. Oh boy, that was close. I definitely tried to get all I could. Left sides only. Got to keep everything the same adjustment-wise, so no adjustments. And just hope and pray we don't get a caution. Please. The left side's made it 67 laps from the start. Now the right sides we're going to have to ask a lot of, but those were some of the cars that just passed us. Hoping I can get up to speed quicker than the 106 that was up here. Big gap, though. Nobody's going to catch us from behind here for a minute. Mark Martin's pitting this time, so we'll get back on the lead lap at the line. Just a little too far out of the draft on this 106 car. I mean, that was a perfect pit road entry, honestly, because I was right at 69, 70 miles per hour at the commitment line. I definitely pushed it even harder than I did before. A lot of smoke off turn 4. There was no caution, though. A couple cars got together. You see the skid marks, somebody going down the track. So we aren't back on the lead lap yet because Mark Martin's on pit road, but Kenny Wall stays out to lead, so he'll get 5 bonus points. And you'll see us gain more positions on the racetrack. There's Danny O'Quinn Jr., so he passed us right before the last stop. So we got back in front of him, and we should get around the other car that he was with. So it should get us back to 12th, I'd imagine. And, I mean, I have to block the rest of the race. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Although the car feels a lot more stable now than it did before. I don't know that it's going to stay like that for the last 31 laps of the race, but one can only hope. Now we'll be back on the lead lap. Walls on pit road. We're in 16th. 8. We'll get around one more car here coming out of the pits. And I think there might be some lappers that still have to pit yet as well. One more car getting up to speed on the back stretch. We'll see if we can pass them. It's going to be close. They're getting up to speed. We're obviously already there. Try to get the draft behind him. I'm not close enough yet. Now I'm close enough. It's Boris Said in the 9. Oh, if I can get to him, that would be perfect. Nope, not quite. I was close. $30 to go. 4 cars on pit road. We're up to 13th. Got 2 more spots there. Brian Vickers is just now pitting. He was behind us, so we'll get another spot at least this time by. Maybe a couple more than that. There's a chance we might get back into the top 10, depending on how many cars just pitted that last time by. There's a few extras on pit road. Again, everybody's already made their final stop. There's Vickers. Johnson to 12th, which is what I was expecting we were going to be. So that was the only spot we picked up there. Thought more cars pitted than that. Maybe he was the only one. Not many cars on the lead lap, I'll tell you that much. Caution-free race at Daytona so far. 28 laps to go with where the leader is at. I'm all right with the caution only because Tony Stewart, I mean, he could gain more positions with a restart, but he is a lap down, and we're on the lead lap. And we're one of the last cars on the lead lap, really. Do I dare try to let these guys get around me and draft? Because more cars are just going to catch me. Trying to block to the end of the race. I don't even know that I'm going to be able to block to the end. Got 27 laps left. Got a long ways to go. I really wish we had a live ticker like NASCAR 08 and 09 where I could see where Tony Stewart's running. I was able to stay with Danny O'Coin Jr. with a much looser race car, so I'd imagine I could stay with these guys. Just got to make sure I get around them on the last lap. I don't think we're going to catch anybody else, but it keeps me ahead of, hopefully, Mark Martin, who's closing in fairly quick. We're going to try it. No, don't do that, Keegan. No! Fudge. Stay with him. Don't lose him. Don't lose him. Golly. I don't know how I stayed with him. We haven't caught him yet. Catching him now. I don't know how I caught him. I hate that he's running the outside, but there you go. Run the bottom, please. Just run the bottom. Really like to stay on the lead lap. Oh, jeez. This is so stressful. So stressful. We're pulling Danny O'Quinn Jr. Thank goodness. I mean, hopefully we can catch 11th. I doubt it. We got enough laps. I just think I'm too far behind. Main objective here, don't lose any more positions and stay in the lead lap. That is the main objective the rest of this race. And I really hope this guy in front of me just stays on the bottom of the racetrack. It'll make our life so much easier. Car's stable enough right now. Really hope it stays stable enough for 25 more laps. I gotta be careful with the bump. I have to bump draft so we can stay ahead of these cars behind us, but can't let Mark Martin get to us either. I think Mark is right behind the 50 of Danny O'Quinn Jr. back there. I'm hoping us two are fast enough to stay in front of Mark Martin. And we are catching the 11th place car. Slowly but surely. This isn't perfect execution tonight, but this would definitely be our best finish at Daytona on the season. One top 10 in 5 super speedway races this season, a 6th at Dega is our only top 10. Our best Daytona finish is 35th. 35th and 38th in both those races. Really tight getting into the corner. Had to stay in the gas there. Barely kept it off the wall. It's not as loose as it was before because we changed rights instead of lefts. And I didn't move the balance of the car back to the way it was at the start. So that way I was hoping it would tighten it up a little bit, and it did. Really didn't want to try to pass this guy right now. He was running so close to the wall, so early, into the corner there. I thought I was going to hit the wall. We're good. This is, every single corner is so stressful. Thankful we weren't close enough for him to get a draft off that car in front of us yet. It's Boris said in the 9 car. We are catching for position. I had to lift a little getting into the corner there. I could just kind of, I could tell when it's going to be really close to the wall. And I don't want to stay committed. Now he's getting a draft off Boris said, and I'm not pulling him as quickly on the back straightaway. Now we're getting a run. Going to try to make this pass for 12th. Pass made. Now Johnson has to stay with Boris said. Car behind us just got in the wall off turn 4. We're still staying on the lead lap as well with all this. Johnson staying with Boris said, so we executed that pass perfectly. 20 laps to go at Daytona. That pass was worth 4 points. This next pass would also be worth 4. I'm going to stay with him. And 20 to go. We caught Sed fairly quick. Maybe there's a chance we can catch the 9th place car. Granted, the 9th place car much further ahead of us than what Boris said was. Or sorry, the 10th place car, not the 9th place car, because Sed would be in 11. And we are definitely pulling this 142. Slowly. Gotta make sure not to clip that apron. I was right on that yellow line. I like that Sed's running the bottom, though. I'm better down there than what I am the top. Less confident I'll hit the apron than the wall, but still treacherous. I don't think there's any lap cars within striking distance. Honestly, looking at the track map, if we catch this next car in front of us, they're not that far behind the next car in front of them. This is the furthest Sed gapped us in a corner there. Gave him almost too good of a push going off into turn 3 that last lap. Johnson catching it back, though, at the end of the front stretch. Enough so that he's able to make the push into turn 1 again and stay much closer to the back bumper of Sed through 1 and 2 than what he did 3 and 4. Where's Stewart at? No clue. He's behind us, but I'm not sure how much. He was 30th when we were 3rd at one point, but that was like, what, lap 46, 47? That was quite some time ago. Really got to stay with Boris Sed at all cost here. He's starting to pull me in the corners just a little bit more. I'm not going to be able to bump draft him at all that straight away. Trying to hold a steadier wheel in the corners. Every lap, these tires are falling off more and more. You can see me getting a little loose off turn 2. Got to stay in the gas, though. I like that we've at least pulled away from Mark Martin. And we know Stewart's a lap down at the very least, because the only car Martin had to pass at one point to get to us was Danny Oakland Jr. It was probably only a second and a half behind us, so we have gapped him a little bit. So you'd have to imagine us with Boris Sed would be the quickest cars on the racetrack in this 2-car tandem. A lot of bump drafting through the tri-oval that time. Every position we gain here is 4 points. Every position behind us would be 3 points for however many Tony's trying to pick up to the end. Or said my long-lost brother, we are both tall. Wasn't trying to push him that deep into the corner. I pushed him. Oh, come on, stay with him. I pushed him so deep. And he's catching the car in front of us and he's drafting away. I don't like that a bit. Shoot. They're side by side. I don't have any drafting help. I think Mark Martin's the next car behind us. I mean, we caught the 10th place car. I couldn't stay with him. Once he caught the draft of that next car, he pulled away from me so quickly. Just no car behind us. He caught him in the corner, which was the worst case scenario for us because I was good enough on the straightaways, but in the corners I'm starting to lose him a little bit, and then I catch back up to him at the end of the straights. With where Martin's at, we would have 13 to go. We'd be on lap 88. Obviously, we're on 87 at the very tail end of the lead lap. We have to stay on the lead lap behind Mark Martin at all costs here. Just in case we were to see a caution. So we can potentially gain spots and not lose any. I don't know if I want to see a yellow, though, because I just feel like Stewart could gain a few more positions. I really don't know how many positions I can get. So this car takes a minute to get up to speed. The 187 still on the lead lap. Martin has struggled to pass him. 12 to go. Big block on Martin going into turn one. Like to stay in front of both of these cars. That 187 is for position. Fastest car in the field all night. Mark Martin right behind Johnson. Johnson with the 187. Trying to stay with him in the draft here. It was a position loss for the time being. .187 to the bottom of the racetrack. Martin with a run. As much as I want to block the 6, really trying to stay with this 187. Oh no! Big block by the 187 car. Oh my gosh. What was he doing? We were fine. I wasn't going to be able to get around him. Oh my gosh. Martin's going to lap us both. I can't let anybody pass me the rest of this race. We're already lapped down now. God. I did nothing wrong there. I mean, he moved up in the middle of the corner. I was never going to have enough speed to get around him. And now as my car's starting to loosen up, I have to block for my life the rest of the race. Because I can't lose any more positions. And Tony Stewart could be in 20th for all we know. And we wouldn't end up winning the championship by finishing 13th. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many more cars are going to catch us here. I don't know where Tony's at. I don't know. He's behind us somewhere. We're all lapped down. One less lap to get to the end of the race, being a lap down where we're at right now. So 9 laps to go this time by. Johnson on older right side tires and having to block for his life to the end of this race. Currently has Jeremy Mayfield in the 9 behind him. Nope, gotta go high, gotta go low. I gotta make sure not to... Oh boy, yeah, see, got a little loose there. I had to burp the throttle. It's gonna kill the momentum a little bit off turn 2. Kind of killed it for Mayfield as well. Nobody else is behind him yet. They'll get there probably next straightaway. It's hard for me to get that cut in the center of the corner. I can get it, but then the car gets super light if I make too aggressive of a turn. Oh, Stewart's right there. Is that Stewart or Biffle? I really hope it's Biffle. It's Tony Stewart. Jesus. It's Tony Stewart. He's literally 2 positions behind us. Blow a motor! Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I don't know how many more cars are going to catch this pack, but just got to block for our life and hope for the best. I mean, I've led laps. He hasn't. We got 5 bonus points. I think I'm still going to have to beat him by like 7 positions. 6, 7, 8 positions we're going to have to beat Tony Stewart by. Said to the outside briefly. Johnson stays in front. What a drive. I mean, he was in 30th, and during green flag conditions, from a lap down, he's driven all the way up to 13th. I mean, you got to give Tony Stewart props there. I did what I could. I'm surprised I've held in front of Mayfield in this pack of cars as long as I have, honestly. They're definitely quicker. 6 to go at the line. Running out of laps. Man, that thing was loose. How did I stay in front of him? I would have thought I was going to lose so much momentum there. Stewart's taking him 3. 3 wide, and right rear is in the red there on the damage indicator. Mayfield to the top. Here comes Stewart. Big block to the bottom of the racetrack. Able to hold on. Come on, baby. Tony's slow. Tony is slow after that contact. Oh, hang on a minute. Come on, car. Is that Brian Vickers behind us? It is. He's a teammate. Oh, my God. This car's so loose. Right rear tires on life support. The 101 just cracked the wall. That helped me. So I got loose. He was going to get a run, but Tony is losing time. I hope he's still on the apron. He is slow after the contact. This is the race for the championship. Is definitely not going to be a race for the win. We need all the points we can here. Almost overcorrected it right in the middle of the corner. It floated up the track quite a bit. Hang on to it, Keegan. Nope. We got to be dirty, as Kevin Harvick would say. We got to be dirty. These laps are taking forever, let me tell you. They're the longest laps I've driven in my life. But we got more cars coming. And now the right front's in the red. Oh my gosh. 14th place is probably the race for the championship here. This is going to be an insanely close points battle. Stewart has dropped the cylinder, but he's still out on the track. There's at least 6 cars right behind us. We got to beat him by 7, 8 positions. Here comes Vickers. A lot of contact there between Johnson and Vickers. On, try to draft behind him on the back straightaway. I lost him. Teammates pulling us. No, 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 no. Let go wide. Let go wide. Oh, hang on to it. No, 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 no. Ooh, we got a yellow. We got a yellow. Caution is out with 3 to go. I tried to hold on to it as best as I could there. Fudge. Where does that put us? Oh, no. Oh. I tried so hard. I knew that thing was going to come back across the track. I was just hoping nobody was going to be there and I could kind of pancake it into the wall and stay where I was at. Oh, my gosh. Please end the race. I hope that yellow just ends it. Caution came out with 3 to go. I think we're going to get a green-white checker more than likely. It looks like we are. Green-white checker, 1 lap dash. Johnson in 16th. Oh my gosh, 1 lap. Try to get a position here. I don't have enough speed. I wrecked the speed out of it. And this car is unbearable to drive. We're so slow. We got so much damage. What a save. I'm loose and I'm not even up to speed yet. Stewart's back in traffic. Johnson 16th. We're coming to the checkered flag. I'm all right. I'll lose 1 spot there. I couldn't wreck it. Is it enough? I need this spot too. I'm also going to need this spot. 17. Did we do it? The hood came off and I blew a tire after the checker. Where did Tony finish? Oh my gosh, my heart's racing. Did we do it? Did we win it? Golly. Mark Martin lost the race on that green-white checker. Kyle Busch made a last lap pass for the win. Oh my God. Where's Tony? Where's Tony? 34th. It's going to be so close. I don't know. Because it's only 3 points per position outside the top 12. We ended up 17th. He was 34th. I don't know. I don't know who won it. Oh my God. 17-point difference. 17 times 3 is 51. I think I won the championship by 7 points. My pinky's twitching. Look at this. I've never been so nervous in my life. I haven't been this nervous since asking a girl out in high school. I mean, this is like, this is intense, and I can't take it. I think we won it. I think we won by 7 points, if I do my math correct. Actually, I had 5 bonus points, too. My pinky is twitching. I don't know why my pinky's twitching. I mean, this is... I think we did it. Yeah! Let's go! Oh, my gosh! Oh, my gosh! We did it! Jimmy Johnson's an Xfinity Series champion. Holy hell! Oh my gosh! I'm about to throw up. Oh my gosh. I've never been so nervous in my life playing a video game. Jesus. My pinky's still twitching. Let's shake it out. Oh my God. 12 points. Yeah, it would have been 7, but the lap sled. Oh my gosh. The fact I blew a tire, if we would have had one more lap left, I blew my right front right after I passed the start-finish line. Oh. Yeah, we had the tiebreaker too. Oh my gosh, I'm so lightheaded. I need water. I'm out of water. Oh my God. Jimmy Johnson wins it. Kyle Busch, after all of his madness, only 66 points back. He won the race. Oh my gosh. Tony lost so much ground. He lost a cylinder after we made contact there late with like 6 to go. And he fell back to 34, and then I wrecked. And my tires were shot before that. They were extremely shot that last lap. I had to let that car go. It wasn't worth trying to block him in the middle of the corner when he was already to our outside. I feel like I would have just turned myself in front of the field. Tony Stewart, the Reggie Miller joke. Oh my. Wow. What a comeback. Never say die. We were 333 points back with 3 races to go. Tony Stewart finished 34th or worse the last 3 races. I finished 17th. That was my best finish at Daytona in the Busch Series. I was on life support there for about the final, 12 laps of the race. I went a lap down. Stewart was right behind us. I knew if I blocked him, maybe there's a chance he'd fall back in traffic. Luckily, he lost a cylinder. He still finished the race, but he was slow. Oh, my pinky's not twitching anymore. My God. That was the most nervous I have been. That was so pressure-packed. It was everything that led to that point, like in the last couple nights. We're in the last 6 races. We won 5 in a row just to finish 17th in the last race. I knew Daytona was my worst track that we've probably raced at all season. The fact I had to go through it 3 times, and this time in the season finale, that was wild. I mean, you can't put into words what I was going through. Hell yes. We did it. As Dale Sr., after winning the 1998 Daytona 500, would say, we won it, we won it, we won it. The fact I had to wait like 20 seconds after the checkered flag flew to find out where he finished, too, was like, did we do it? Like, I didn't know. It's like on the cool down lap, not knowing if you won the championship until like after you come back to pit road. Like, that's did we win it? It's just like, oh, did we win? I don't know if we won. 17th. I didn't think that was going to be enough. I thought we were going to have to finish at least top 5 tonight, if not win it. We were top 5 for a lot of this race. I mean, I was top 5 up until, what, like 30-something laps to go, and then we just started dropping like a rock. The tires were falling off of it, and I was just losing spot, and then I would catch up in the draft, and then somebody, the freaking 187 car, threw the most terrible block when we were running in 12th. I mean, that doesn't happen. We at least, like, finish on the lead lap. It would have been probably just as tight, really, considering Stewart was where he was at. I don't think he would have caught all the way up to 15th like he did, you know, with me not blocking those lap cars. My camera's off. Was it off the whole race? Or did I just turn it off? Was my camera off the whole race? No, it wasn't. I don't know how it turned off. Oh, my pinky's twitching again. I've never been so twitchy in my life. I mean, this is weird. It's a weird sensation. Wow. 186 with 2 races to go. 333 with 3 races left. 388 back with 6 races left. Oh my gosh. I don't think... I'm going to do my damnedest to not fall that far behind in points ever again. Because that, I mean, the last couple nights have just been so stressful. I mean, oh, jeez. Jimmy Johnson's first Xfinity title. Highlight this. So I'm definitely going to do something with this. I'm going to have to do a highlight of the last 8 races or so from the DNFs. We'll have a highlight video. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it up, but we'll have it. And you won't want to miss it. Oh my gosh. I didn't think a video game could bring that out of me, honestly. I've been nervous before. The Talladega season finale in the Xfinity Series of NASCAR Heat 5, I was nervous then, but this was a whole new level. Because we didn't know where everybody was at. Like in that race, I was leading, and I knew like 3 of the other Championship 4 cars were like right behind me. So at least knew where they were at. It was stressful because I had to win. And I was just blocking for my life in that situation, but I had a much better handling car than what I did here. And just not knowing where Tony Stewart was at was just so stressful. It really, the last like 50 laps of the race, we didn't know where he was at. It was just like, man, he could have been 20th, he could have been 40th, we didn't know. Come to find out, he finished 34th. It wouldn't be a stream, the highlights. It'd be a video I'll end up posting. I don't know how you guys were. For an Xfinity race. Yeah, I know, an Xfinity race too. It wasn't a career mode. It wasn't a cup title. This is up there in channel infamy. Our only caution was with 3 laps left. Almost made it caution free. That caution made it more stressful. I lost a couple spots because of that, because I lost a couple in the midst of the spin. And then one more on the restart. That almost did me in. I don't know if Tony Stewart was able to gain any more positions off the restart. I don't know where he was before or after. He might have lost a couple spots on the restart. Who knows? We'll never know, but wow. You would think as many points back as Kyle Busch was, he would have had a shot at the title coming into the night. He did not. He was out of contention. I know, 3 finishes outside the top 30 for Stewart took the win the title by just 12. Like, yeah, I mean, the last lap at Richmond, again, 2 races ago at Richmond, he blew an engine on the last lap. He lost 19 positions on the last lap of the race from 21st to 40th. He doesn't do that, we don't win the championship. Obviously, he DNF'd yesterday, but at least it was like just past the halfway point. So we kind of knew with how fast my car was at Phoenix last night that I felt I was going to win. Even though it was kind of tight on fuel to the end, but yeah, man, what a finale. What a final 7-8 races this was. I mean, that's just what a last couple of weeks we've had with this series. I don't feel like I have to dry heave anymore, so that's good. That was I was getting a little tongue-tied there. We're good. I can breathe easy. My pinky's not twitching. I said that a couple minutes ago, then it started twitching again. But I think we're good now. Time to get dinner now. I think I'm going to have to wait a minute before I can eat. I might have the urge to throw up again. I got to cool down from this. I'll probably cool down about 5-10 minutes after the stream, but it's going to take a couple minutes still. Anything could happen. Never say never. I mean, that's just insane. That is insane. We've had some heartbreaking losses. We've had some heartbreaking wins. Nothing like that you would ever think would go right. You would never think that something like that would go so right. The last 3 races. Like, it's like, oh, this has to happen and this has to happen. Like, I didn't do any of it. Like, the only thing, I mean, him blowing an engine the last 2 races, really, like, I had no part in that. Tonight, I had a part in him being back in traffic in the first half of the race. You know, lap 46, 47. I had a part when I was driving as Brian Vickers and him falling back to 30th. And then the rest was like off the table the rest of the way. I was just hoping for the best, that was enough. And it wouldn't have been, or it would have been if I would have stayed in the top 10, but it would, I mean, it's just losing spot after spot after spot. It was such a helpless feeling. Every position that went by, I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know where he's at. That's 3-4 more points lost, depending on where I was running at the time. And another 3-4 points to go out the window. Man, oh man. I could go on for like another hour, but I'm not gonna. Thanks for tuning in. We got a Mark Martin series yet to finish out. I am the points leader there. Hopefully I could keep it. I'm all for fun championship battles down the stretch, but this was a little too much, I think. This was too much for me. Yeah, this was a little too much. Let's not have to do that again. I'm all for being in a stressful situation again. It makes it more entertaining on the channel, but where I have to finish 17th to win the, championship. Literally, I mean, 4 spots. I finished 21st instead of 17th on that last lap when I was slamming cars off turn 4 trying not to get drafted around. I don't think I would have lost 4 spots. I probably got a split, lost 2 coming to the checker if I didn't body check the car on the inside and the outside there. So, yeah. Crazy. All right. End of the stream. Hit the like button. We have more likes on last night's stream than tonight. I don't know how, but hit the like button. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll have NASCAR Cup Series practice at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. 50-minute practice session for the Cup Series at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So again, Cup practice, Indy, 2 p.m. Eastern. Live commentary stream tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll also go live for the Truck Series race, which will be at the Indianapolis Raceway Park in Indianapolis as well. That will be at 8:30. So 2:30 Cup practice tomorrow afternoon, 8:30 tomorrow night Truck Series race. Hope to see you then. 2 live commentary streams for your Friday, Fast Friday. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.